Now, praise poetry is an important form of oral literature in Africa. It exists in many different parts of Africa. In Zulu, they call it izibongo. In Tswana, it's maboko. And in Shivenda, it's called zwidoko. So, Zwikodo, yeah, that's it. So today we meet award-winning praise poet Vendaboy Poet, who will be performing later on in the Loft. We also chat to Tando and Sipumeze, who are co-founders of Estra20 Mobile Foods, a social enterprise that is intentional in making a change in their community. Plus, we chat to the director and actress of the movie 3 Days to Go, which premieres tomorrow. And Gareth Flusk from Sun International also joins us in the Loft to chat about the prestigious Summit taking place this weekend. Now, the most common purpose of praise poetry is to praise the character and the achievements of chiefs and kings and the acts of kingship. Lutendo Mugagadeli, aka Vendaboy, became popular after surprising President Cyril Ramaphosa on a flight to Durban. Not only can he praise in Tshivenda, but also he can praise in 6 different languages as well. Let's take a look at some of his work.
Zvanga zviva kudzeni vote vatondeni ni varembuluse ne anga mafungo atoda vone na inwi ndiyani vona khaladzi yanga nodzula gudani la mathupo ambaho ndine mureni ndine lutendo tendani upika sathu vona honeha ndanga vasendedza uralo ipfi ya chiamba ndiyani vona khaladzi yanga mukomana wanga khotsi ya mubeba nga ramakole chifani chothe nga shangu chiyafisa chena dzula khacho chidulo ubhala thandululo ya mubeba nga vavili vachi zvinake chinakela vavoni mmane wanga.
Welcome to Afternoon Express.
Akelo liko jana lichinanera kelo liko jana lichinangabela ho jana mutanga wa chedza mutanga sa sitombo nthalimwe bendi vagagadeli gagadela muredi Vendaboy Poet of rain.
And that is how you start the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
You are so extraordinarily talented, and you've got this amazing confidence and this zest for life, which is why I was so interested in your story and why I really wanted to interview you. Because your early days are, it paints a picture of this poor, lonely, neglected boy living in a rural town.
Yeah.
And kind of poetry saved you.
Yes, it really saved me, yeah.
Take me back to those years and how you discovered poetry.
Okay. I don't know where to start. It's really the grace of God to be where I am today. I'm from the rural area in a place called Manyima, Tabarara.
Yeah.
Studying poetry, it was kind of like difficult on my way, and growing up, it was kind of difficult way. Sometimes I'll go at school without shoes, sometimes those kind of difficult things.
Yeah.
So it was a bit difficult, but poetry became a savior in my life, where I started to join poetry instead of a way to say I want to express my feeling, the way I grow up, how I struggle. So it was an way forward, to express the way how I grown up, and because I believe that people need to hear what where I grow up and all the struggle, all the things that they need to know so that they can understand this life and how it goes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love how you turned it into an amazing way of healing for you.
Yes.
And also, I heard that when you were younger, people used to bully you for making your poems. And the same people that used to bully you are now some of your biggest fans.
Yes, some of them, they're watching the show now, right now. They're so really proud of me for what I did, because, when I started doing poetry, when I started, they used to bully me because of the voice. You can see that louder voice that I have when I say, Rrr! A lot of people used to be amazed and say, what's going on? This guy look like crazy. You get what I'm saying? But, they didn't know that it was a God grace, and that was the unique talent that I have, and only now they're so proud of what I do.
Exactly. We're all tremendously proud of you, including one particular fan, the President of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa. What happened there? Were you on the same flight as him, or what happened?
Actually, I was invited, to pray, to surprise him, to make a poem. It's like I wrote a poem about him, and I'm that kind of person who believes things and really things happen. By the way, Lutendo, the real name that I have, it means faith, and everything that I do with faith. So, you know, I came across on the media and I wrote to say I want to praise the president. And then I wrote a poem about him making research. And indeed, the dream really came true when I was given an opportunity to praise him. And he was so very much excited, you know, when I was starting my things. And he was so shocked to say, how do I know where he come from and all the stuff? Because I was mentioning everything that he knows about. Yes.
What an unbelievable experience. And for those at home who feels like you were missing out on that, we actually have a little clip of that amazing, amazing moment. Let's have a look.
Jambira, bando dobana kunoni wana maifiano Africa tipembeliso na musuzura kunoni ya president ya bakunoni yo njitanga mulala na butiyi usonga ngoromba le tifenda kautulu no kuno mwenyani bafendare bati bamulalo.
Wow, what a flight. Entertainment on board in business class.
Yes,
Were you nervous?
It was my first time flying. First time, you know, it was first time. So I really couldn't feel myself. The excitement and you know, the exposure, I couldn't believe that's me. And it was a good exposure and a good experience because now people, they can, you know, relate the story. And it has never happened in the world to find anyone praising the president inside the plane, in the air, in the other atmosphere. It never happened. So, which means it's a history in the making.
Exactly.
I can say, yes, yes.
And also history in the making and something that you've been tremendously proud of. Obviously, you can do your poetry in 6 different languages and also you make it language specific.
Yes.
But also you've got a role on Muvhango where you get to speak in Venda.
Yes, I was speaking in Venda. Thanks to Muvhango for hooking me up and to be part of that. I was speaking in Venda, and actually that I can say I can speak actually more than 6 languages that I can able to read, and six languages that I can also do poetry in throughout that. So on Muvhango, I was speaking in Venda. You know the line that comes in English, then you need to translate them in Venda.
So they write the script in English and then you do the translation as you're delivering it. That is so hard.
And by the way, people, they don't know, I never studied Venda at school because I moved in Venda when I was 10. Then I moved to Pedi people, staying with the Pedi people. Then I have to learn the language of Pedi. And then I couldn't able to speak Venda. But when I finished matric, when I started doing my poetry, that I said I need to go back to my roots and able to learn about Venda and all those kind of things. And indeed, it really saved me because now I can even speak Venda fluently, like even though I didn't study Venda at long.
And are you fluent in all of the other languages that you can do your poetry?
Yes, yes, yes.
What language do you think in?
You know, Pedi, ne? Yeah, Pedi is kind of a language that, because I study Pedi, and I can know, because in Pedi we also have different languages, your Lobedi, your Stokwa, and all those kind of things. So that's why I feel much confident, comfortable when I speak,
Because I always thought, like, to learn different languages, you have to think in the language that you're speaking at the time. But then I watch you, and then you'll do a poem, and then you'll go from one language into the next, into the next. So it's hard to, like, you've got to be really smart and actually quite like a language genius to be able to do that, to switch.
The other thing that if I will tell you, I wear the language, you know, wearing that language to say, this is me, you know, I become in that language. And if I'm speaking Venda, then which means I must relate things that are related to Venda. If I'm doing poem in Pedi, I must relate it to the things of Pedi. So that's how I feel much confident and comfortable throughout that.
You are amazing. You are so talented. But now I have to ask you, I know we're running out of time, but I heard that you've got another talent as well, which is to imitate people's voices.
Yes, yes.
Who are your best ones?
Actually, imitating people's voice, it's local people, maybe people that are related, that I can speak, like your Ndebele. And then in that Ndebele we say, I vele mina wakubona vele mina ngintota vele ekhambela vele ngihlele ngikhambela vele akunankinga vele noma ngijikale vele angibona vele mina ngintota vele ngumvenda vele wangibona nami ngihlelele nje. And then we can speak, I can also imitate in Slovenia. ke lokela kama ba ne ke budela ka kwa ke tswa tswe ba tswala ba ka kwa itile mo mambeni ke nna wa ko a ke a baga mkhwano.
You're amazing. You've got such a fantastic energy. Thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
And we're going to hear one of your poems a little bit later on the show.
Thanks for having me.
I'm looking very, very forward to that.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. After the break, we make overnight bircher oats. Perfect breakfast coming up after this.